Good morning, good people. Let me tell you something. Life ain't going to hand you nothing just because you want it. You got to go get it. See, the problem with too many folks today is they waiting for the right moment, the perfect time, the easy route. Let me break it to you. Ain't no perfect time. If you waiting on all the lights to be green before you leave the house, you're going to be sitting there forever. You know what separates successful people from everybody else? It ain't money, it ain't talent, it's grit. It's faith. It's the ability to keep going, even when everything around you is saying, sit down, give up. This ain't for you. See, everybody loves the success story, but don't nobody want to hear about the struggle. Let me tell you something. If you ain't struggling, you ain't growing. If life has never knocked you down, you ain't even in the game yet. Let me tell you what I know. Your gift is your key. Every single person in this room has a God-given gift. Not a skill, not a hobby, a gift. Something you can do better than most people with the least amount of effort. You got to find that gift and run with it. Quit telling small-minded people your big dreams. Some of y'all got million-dollar ideas, but you keep sharing them with people who can't even see past Friday. You tell them your vision, and they say, that's impossible. No, you just ain't capable of seeing it. Stop waiting for validation from people who ain't never done nothing. Faith over fear every single time. Fear is a liar. It'll make you think you ain't good enough, that you ain't smart enough, that you ain't got what it takes. But listen, if God put that dream in your heart, it's because he already gave you what you need to make it happen. Move in faith. Let me leave you with this. Life don't care about your excuses. It don't care if you're tired, scared, broke, or heartbroken. It just keeps moving. You got two choices. Sit there and watch it pass you by, or get up and chase everything with your name on it. Your gift is your key. Everybody walking this earth has something placed inside them that sets them apart from the next person. It's not just a skill, not just a talent. It's something deeper than that. It's a natural ability that flows effortlessly when you tap into it. Some people can make a room burst into laughter without even trying. Some people can fix anything with their hands like they were born knowing how it works. Others can take a blank canvas and turn it into art that speaks to the soul. And then there are people who can lead, inspire, create, build. People who are wired a certain way because that's how they were designed. The problem is, most folks go through life without ever unlocking that gift. They spend years chasing things that were never meant for them, working jobs that drain them, following paths that society told them were right, all while ignoring that voice inside that keeps whispering, this isn't it. That voice isn't just your imagination. It's the pull toward your purpose. It's the thing inside of you that knows you were meant for more. But too many people ignore it because they're scared. They think their gift isn't good enough, or they don't see how it can lead to success, or they let other people talk them out of it. One of the biggest mistakes people make is assuming that their gift has to look a certain way. They think if they can't sing, act, or play a sport at a professional level, then they don't have a special talent. But a gift isn't just about entertainment or fame. A gift is anything you can do exceptionally well with the least amount of effort. Some people have a gift for communication. They can talk to anyone, break down ideas, or inspire people with just their words. Some people have a gift for solving problems. They can walk into a situation and immediately see solutions that others overlook. Others have a gift for bringing people together, making them feel comfortable, making them feel heard. The world will try to tell you that your gift doesn't matter if it doesn't come with a six-figure salary or a title. But the truth is, when you start walking in your gift, when you lean into what you were naturally created to do, doors start opening that you never even knew existed. It's not about chasing a paycheck. It's about chasing purpose. When you move in alignment with your gift, you'll find that opportunities, resources, and success naturally start to find you. It doesn't mean there won't be challenges, but it does mean that you won't be wasting your life doing something that was never meant for you. A lot of people struggle to recognize their own gift because they take it for granted. They assume that because something comes easy to them, it must come easy to everyone. They downplay their abilities because they've never seen them as special. But what's easy for you is hard for somebody else. What you do effortlessly could take someone else years to learn. That's why it's a gift. It's unique to you. And the moment you realize that, the moment you stop dismissing it as just something I do, is the moment you start stepping into your power. Sometimes the reason people don't embrace their gift is because it doesn't look like what they expected. They might have dreamed of being a singer, but their real gift is in songwriting. They might have wanted to be an athlete, but their true talent is in coaching. They might have thought they were supposed to be the star, but their real calling is to help others shine. When you're too attached to one idea of success, you can miss the real blessing that's right in front of you. That's why it's important to be open, to pay attention to the things you do naturally, the things people always compliment you on, the things that make you feel most alive. Those are the clues that point you toward your gift. Some people don't pursue their gift because they're waiting for permission. They're waiting for someone to validate them, to say, yes, you're good enough. But the truth is, nobody is going to give you a permission slip to be great. If you sit around waiting for the world to recognize your talent before you start using it, you'll be waiting forever. Some of the most successful people in the world didn't get handed an opportunity. They created one. They took their gift, started where they were, and kept working at it until people had no choice but to notice. Another reason people hesitate to embrace their gift is because they don't see an immediate way to make money from it. They've been taught that success only looks one way, that if it doesn't fit into a traditional career path, then it's just a hobby. But history is filled with people who turned their natural abilities into something bigger than they ever imagined. The world is constantly changing, and there are more ways than ever to create opportunities around what you love. The key is to start, to nurture your gift, to put it to work. Because when you do what you were born to do, it creates a ripple effect that leads to bigger things. Fear is one of the biggest enemies of stepping into your gift. People are afraid of failing, afraid of looking foolish, afraid of what others will say. But playing it safe is the fastest way to a life of regret. The people who win in life aren't the ones who never fail. They're the ones who fail, learn, adjust, and keep going. They're the ones who refuse to let fear stop them from becoming who they were meant to be. If you let fear make decisions for you, you'll always be stuck in the same place, wondering what could have been. Sometimes the people closest to you will be the ones who doubt your gift the most. Not because they don't love you, but because they can't see what you see. They know the old version of you. They remember the mistakes, the struggles, the times you didn't have it all together. And because they can't imagine a different version of you, they project their doubts onto your dreams. But their lack of belief doesn't have to be your reality. The only person who truly needs to believe in your gift is you. It takes courage to walk in your gift. It takes faith to trust that what you have is enough. It takes persistence to keep going when things don't happen overnight. But every step you take in the direction of your gift brings you closer to the life you were meant to live. When you operate in your gift, life has a way of making room for you. The right people show up, the right opportunities present themselves, the doors that seemed impossible to open start unlocking one by one. Your gift is not just for you, it's meant to be shared. There are people out there who need what you have, people who are waiting for what only you can bring to the world. When you hide your gift, when you downplay it, when you let fear stop you from using it, you're not just holding yourself back, you're holding back the impact you were meant to make. People often make the mistake of sharing their biggest dreams with people who don't have the capacity to see them. They get excited about an idea, a vision, something deep inside them that feels like their purpose. And the first thing they do is run and tell a friend, a family member, a coworker, expecting them to be just as excited. But instead of support, they get doubt. Instead of encouragement, they get criticism. Instead of hearing "go for it," they hear, "Are you sure about that?" And just like that, a seed of doubt is planted. The reason this happens is simple. Not everybody is meant to understand your vision. When you have a dream that's bigger than the environment you come from, people around you will struggle to comprehend it. They aren't trying to be negative on purpose. They just can't see what you see. They've been conditioned by limitations, by fear, by past failures, by what they think is realistic. So when you tell them your dream, they measure it against their own limited mindset, and it doesn't add up. They aren't trying to hurt you, but their perspective isn't big enough to hold what you're trying to build. Some people can only see as far as their own experiences allow them to. If they've never seen someone succeed in the way you want to, they'll assume it's impossible. If they've been taught to play it safe, they'll assume you're reckless. If they've settled for less in their own life, they'll assume you should too. And if you're not careful, you'll start letting their doubts become your doubts. You'll start second-guessing yourself, wondering if maybe they're right, wondering if maybe your dream is too big, too risky, too unrealistic. But the truth is, their doubts have nothing to do with you. They're just a reflection of their own fears. It's important to understand the difference between constructive feedback and small-minded negativity. Constructive feedback comes from people who have experience, wisdom, and your best interests at heart. It comes from mentors, from people who have done what you're trying to do, from people who can offer insight and guidance. But small-minded negativity comes from people who don't have the courage to chase their own dreams. It comes from people who gave up on themselves, and now they want you to do the same. It comes from people who let fear rule their decisions and can't stand to see someone else break free from that. The biggest mistake you can make is letting the wrong voices influence your path. If you share your dream with someone who doesn't have the vision to support it, they'll talk you out of it before you even get started. They'll tell you all the reasons it won't work. They'll remind you of every past failure. They'll say things like, "People like us don't do things like that." And if you're not strong enough in your belief, you'll let their words shrink your ambition. Some of the most successful people in the world were told their dreams were impossible. They were laughed at, doubted, rejected. But the difference between them and everyone else is they didn't let small-minded people kill their vision. They protected it. They nurtured it. They surrounded themselves with people who believed in possibilities instead of limitations. Because at the end of the day, your dream doesn't need everyone's approval. It just needs the right environment to grow. You have to be selective about who you share your dreams with. Not everyone deserves access to that part of you. Some people only see problems, not possibilities. Some people are so focused on their own fears that they'll project them onto you. Some people secretly don't want to see you succeed because it reminds them of what they never had the courage to do. And sometimes it's the people closest to you, friends, family, the ones you thought would be your biggest supporters. But just because someone loves you doesn't mean they understand your vision. The danger of sharing your dreams with the wrong people is that their doubts can start sounding like facts. When enough people tell you something won't work, you might start believing them. When enough people question your abilities, you might start questioning them yourself. And before you know it, you're playing small, you're settling, you're pushing that dream to the back of your mind because it feels safer than risking failure. But deep down, that dream never goes away. It just sits there, waiting for you to have the courage to believe in it again. When you're working towards something big, you don't need a crowd of people cheering you on. You just need a few who truly believe, people who see your potential even when you don't. People who push you forward instead of holding you back. People who challenge you, uplift you, and remind you why you started. Those are the voices you need to listen to, not the ones who operate from fear, not the ones who never took a chance on themselves, not the ones who can't see past their own limitations. There's a reason successful people often talk about the importance of their inner circle. The people you surround yourself with can either elevate you or drain you. They can either push you to be better or keep you stuck in the same place. And sometimes growth means outgrowing certain conversations, certain relationships, certain environments. It doesn't mean you don't love those people. It just means you're choosing to protect your vision. One of the hardest lessons to learn is that not everyone is meant to come with you on your journey. Some people were only meant to be part of your past, not your future. And that's okay. You don't need to convince them. You don't need to make them understand. You don't need to waste time proving yourself to people who are never going to see your greatness in the first place. Your energy is better spent working, building, proving it to yourself. There will be moments when you feel alone in your vision, when you wish you had more support, when you start questioning if you're on the right path. But that's when you have to remind yourself why you started. That's when you have to trust that the right people will come at the right time. The ones who see your gift, the ones who align with your purpose, the ones who push you to keep going when doubt creeps in. The world is full of people who will tell you what you can't do. You have to be the kind of person who focuses on what you can do. You have to drown out the negativity, the doubt, the fear, and replace it with faith. Faith in yourself, faith in your vision, faith that if you put in the work, if you stay committed, if you keep moving forward even when it's hard, success will come. Your dream is too valuable to be left in the hands of people who don't understand it. Protect it, guard it, nurture it, and most importantly, don't let small-minded people make you think small. Fear is a liar. It will tell you that you aren't good enough, that you aren't ready, that you don't have what it takes. It will whisper doubts into your mind, reminding you of every failure, every shortcoming, every reason you should stay where you are. Fear doesn't need facts. It just needs to be loud enough to stop you from moving forward. And if you listen to it long enough, it will paralyze you. It will convince you to settle, to shrink, to play it safe, all while your dreams sit on the shelf collecting dust. The thing about fear is that it's always going to be there. No matter how successful you become, no matter how much you accomplish, it never fully goes away. Every new level will bring new fears. Every big opportunity will come with uncertainty. But the difference between those who succeed and those who don't isn't the absence of fear. It's the decision to move forward in spite of it. Fear is not the problem. The problem is letting fear make your decisions for you. Fear has one job, to keep you comfortable. It will keep you in situations that no longer serve you just because they're familiar. It will keep you from speaking up because it doesn't want you to risk rejection. It will keep you from chasing your dream because it would rather you stay safe than take a chance. But nothing great has ever come from comfort. Nobody changes the world by staying where it's easy. Everything you've ever wanted exists on the other side of fear. But you will never get there if you keep letting fear sit in the driver's seat. The most dangerous thing about fear is that it's sneaky. It doesn't always show up as panic or anxiety. Sometimes it shows up as procrastination. You keep telling yourself, I'll do it when I have more money. I'll do it when I feel ready. I'll do it when the time is right. But deep down, it's just fear disguised as logic. There will never be a perfect time. You will never feel 100% ready. Waiting for the stars to align is just an excuse to avoid stepping out of your comfort zone. Sometimes fear shows up as overthinking. You analyze every possible outcome, every potential failure, every reason why it might not work until you've talked yourself out of even trying. You convince yourself that you need more time, more knowledge, more experience before you can start. But the truth is, action builds confidence. The only way to truly feel ready is to start moving. You can't think your way into courage. You have to take action, even when you're scared. Other times, fear shows up as perfectionism. You keep telling yourself that you can't put your work out there until it's flawless. You spend so much time refining, tweaking, making adjustments that you never actually launch. But perfection is just fear in disguise. It's a way to avoid the possibility of failure, of criticism, of not measuring up. The reality is, nothing will ever be perfect. The people who succeed aren't the ones who wait until everything is flawless. They're the ones who start messy and improve along the way. Fear is a storyteller. It will create entire scenarios in your mind that have never even happened. It will make you imagine failure before you've even begun. It will tell you that people are judging you when they're too busy dealing with their own lives. It will remind you of the worst case scenario without considering the best case scenario. But fear is not reality, it's just a feeling. And feelings are not always facts. Faith, on the other hand, is a choice. It is the decision to believe in what you cannot yet see. It is the belief that if you take one step forward, the path will reveal itself. Faith doesn't require you to have all the answers. It just requires you to trust that the answers will come. Faith means moving even when you don't know exactly how things will work out. It means stepping outside of your comfort zone even when you feel unqualified. It means believing in yourself even when nobody else does. When you operate in faith instead of fear, everything changes. Fear will tell you to stay in a job you hate because it's secure. Faith will tell you to pursue your passion because you are capable of more. Fear will tell you not to start your business because you might fail. Faith will tell you that even if you fail, you will learn and grow. Fear will keep you stuck, replaying the same excuses over and over. Faith will push you forward, reminding you that you were created for something greater. The thing about faith is that it doesn't always make sense. It won't always look logical to other people. Some of the most successful people in the world took leaps of faith that made no sense at the time. They quit stable jobs to follow their dreams. They took risks when everyone around them told them not to. They believed in something that had no proof yet, and because they had faith, they created success where others saw failure. Faith doesn't mean you won't ever feel afraid. It means you won't let fear make the final decision. It means you move forward in spite of the fear. It means you take action even when the fear is screaming at you to stop. Fear will always be there, but so will faith. And every day you have a choice. You can choose to let fear keep you small, or you can choose to let faith take you to new heights. Most people let fear run their lives. They stay in places they've outgrown because it's comfortable. They lower their dreams to match their fear instead of raising their faith to match their dreams. They let fear tell them what's possible instead of letting faith show them what's possible. But you don't have to live like that. You don't have to let fear win. There is nothing wrong with feeling afraid. Fear is natural, but you don't have to let it control you. You don't have to let it dictate your future. You don't have to let it steal your dreams. Every time you feel fear creeping in, remind yourself that fear is just a feeling. It is not in charge. It does not have the final say. You do. Some of the greatest moments of your life will require you to walk through fear. They will require you to take a risk, to step into the unknown, to trust yourself even when you don't have all the answers. And on the other side of that fear is the life you've been dreaming of. Fear will try to stop you from getting there. Faith will get you through. Fear will try to convince you that you aren't good enough. Faith will remind you that you already have everything you need inside of you. Fear will hold you back. Faith will push you forward. The choice is always yours, fear or faith. One will keep you stuck, the other will set you free. Success is a lonely road. People don't always talk about that part because everyone loves the highlight reel, the achievements, the money, the recognition, the lifestyle. But what they don't show is the isolation, the late nights, the sacrifices, the moments when you look around and realize not everybody is meant to come with you. That's the part of success most people aren't ready for. They think they can hold on to everything and everyone while still elevating, but the truth is, growth requires separation. The higher you go, the thinner the air gets. Not everyone can breathe at high altitudes. Some people will start suffocating the moment you try to elevate. Some people will resent the fact that you're climbing while they chose to stay on the ground. Some people will try to hold you back, not because they don't love you, but because they don't want to be left behind. And if you're not careful, you'll start slowing down just to keep them comfortable. But you can't carry everyone with you. You can't drag people up the mountain who don't want to climb. There will come a time when you realize that not everybody is clapping for you. Some people are only cheering as long as you stay on their level. The moment you start elevating, they start questioning you. They start making side comments. They start pulling away. It confuses you at first because these were your people, the ones you thought would be there forever. But success has a way of exposing real intentions. It reveals who's really in your corner and who was only there out of convenience. When you start changing, evolving, chasing something greater, you're going to outgrow some relationships. It's not personal, it's just a fact of life. You can't expect to operate at a higher frequency while surrounding yourself with people who are comfortable staying the same. You can't keep having small-minded conversations when your mind is expanding. You can't keep pouring energy into people who don't pour back into you. At some point, you have to make peace with letting go. The problem is, most people don't want to lose relationships, even the toxic ones. They hold on to history instead of paying attention to reality. They tell themselves, we've been friends for years, instead of asking, is this friendship still serving me? They stay connected out of loyalty, even when the connection is draining them. But real loyalty isn't about holding on to people who are no longer aligned with your path. It's about being loyal to your growth, your purpose, your future. The people you surround yourself with will either push you forward or pull you back. There is no in between. Some people inspire you to be better, to think bigger, to stretch beyond your limits. Others keep you stuck in the same cycles, the same habits, the same conversations that go nowhere. And you have to be strong enough to choose your future over familiarity. It's not easy, but it's necessary. Sometimes the hardest part of growth is realizing that people you once loved are no longer aligned with where you're going. Maybe it's a friend who doesn't support your dreams. Maybe it's a family member who constantly speaks negativity into your life. Maybe it's a partner who doesn't believe in your vision. Whatever the case, you have to make a choice. Your destiny or their comfort. Because you can't have both. Elevation requires isolation. There will be seasons where you feel like you're walking alone, where you start questioning if the sacrifices are worth it, where you miss the people who used to be there even if they weren't the best for you. That's the part of success most people don't prepare you for. They think the hardest part is the work. But sometimes the hardest part is the loneliness. The moments when you realize you can't go back to who you used to be, but you're not quite where you want to be yet. That in-between stage where it feels like you're losing more than you're gaining. But that's where most people quit. They go back to old relationships because they miss the familiarity. They shrink themselves to fit back into spaces they've outgrown. They downplay their dreams just to make others comfortable. But all that does is delay their destiny. Because you can't reach new levels if you're still holding on to old baggage. You can't step into the best version of yourself if you're still entertaining people who encourage the worst in you. Some people are only meant to be in your life for a season. That doesn't mean they were bad people. That doesn't mean you don't love them. It just means their role in your story has ended. And when you try to drag old relationships into new seasons, all you're doing is slowing yourself down. It's tough because nobody prepares you for the emotional side of growth. Nobody tells you how hard it is to watch people distance themselves when you start moving differently. Nobody warns you about the guilt that comes with choosing yourself. But the reality is, you can either stay small to keep everyone comfortable, or you can grow into the person you were meant to be. The thing about success is that it requires a mindset shift. You start thinking differently, and not everyone will understand that. The things that used to entertain you no longer do. The conversations that used to excite you start feeling empty. The places you used to go no longer feel right. That's not you being arrogant. That's growth. That's evolution. That's stepping into your purpose. You'll know you're evolving when you stop tolerating certain things. You stop tolerating negativity. You stop tolerating one-sided relationships. You stop tolerating environments that drain your energy. You stop explaining yourself to people who are committed to misunderstanding you, because when you're focused on your growth, you don't have time to argue with people who aren't growing. It's a lonely road, but the right people will find you. As you elevate, you'll attract people who match your mindset, your energy, your ambition. You'll find people who celebrate your wins instead of secretly resenting them. You'll find people who push you forward instead of pulling you back. But you won't meet them if you keep holding on to relationships that were never meant to last. It's easy to let loneliness trick you into going backward. It's easy to think, maybe I'm asking for too much. Maybe I should just settle. Maybe I should stay where it's comfortable. But deep down, you know that's not an option. You know you were created for more. You know there's a purpose bigger than the people who don't see your vision. Every level of success requires a new version of you, and sometimes that means leaving behind the version of you that tolerated things you should have let go of a long time ago. It means stepping into the unknown, trusting that the right people, the right opportunities, the right environments will align with you at the right time. But that only happens when you stop looking back. Some people will call you different. They'll say you've changed, and they're right. You have. Growth changes you. Success changes you. Elevation changes you. But the ones who are meant to stay in your life will understand that. They'll evolve with you. They'll celebrate your progress. They'll match your energy instead of draining it. And the ones who don't, they were never meant to be part of your future anyway. Your gift is the key to your success. Everybody has one. There is something inside you that was given to you at birth, something that comes naturally, something that you don't have to force. It's that thing that you do better than most people without even trying. It's the thing that people come to you for, the thing that makes you stand out. Your gift is what separates you from the rest. It's not your education, not your background, not your connections. Your gift is the thing that will open doors for you that nothing else can. Most people spend their lives chasing success in areas that have nothing to do with their gift. They go after money, titles, status, or what society tells them is a good career, all while ignoring the one thing they were naturally created to do. That's why so many people are unfulfilled. They wake up every day dreading their jobs, dragging themselves through life, feeling like something is missing because they've never tapped into what they were actually put here to do. Your gift is the thing you could do all day without getting tired. It's the thing that energizes you instead of draining you. It's the thing you'd still do even if nobody paid you, just because you love it that much. Some people are gifted at speaking, some are gifted at teaching, some are gifted at creating, some are gifted at leading. But no matter what your gift is, one thing is certain, your success is tied to it. When you operate in your gift, you don't have to chase success. Success finds you. You don't have to force doors open. Your gift will open them for you. You don't have to beg for opportunities. Your gift will create them. The problem is, most people either don't know what their gift is or they don't believe in it enough to pursue it. They've been conditioned to think that success only comes from following a traditional path. Go to school, get a degree, find a stable job, work until retirement. But some of the most successful people in the world got there not by following the rules, but by following their gift. Your gift will make room for you, but only if you're willing to use it. Some people have incredible gifts, but they hide them. They downplay their talent. They let fear keep them from stepping into their greatness. Maybe they've been told that their gift isn't practical, that it's not realistic, that they should play it safe. Maybe they've been laughed at for dreaming too big. Maybe they've failed before and started believing that their gift isn't enough. But the truth is, the only way to fail is to ignore what's inside of you. The only way to stay stuck is to keep your gift locked away instead of using it. There is somebody out there who needs what you have. There is somebody whose life will be changed because of your gift, but they'll never experience it if you keep holding back. Too many people die with their gifts still inside them, never fully realizing their potential because they let doubt, fear, or other people's opinions stop them. You don't want to be one of those people. You don't want to look back one day and wonder what could have happened if you had just believed in yourself enough to use what you were given. Your gift is connected to your purpose. If you've ever wondered why you're here, what you were created to do, what your calling is, look at your gift. The thing that comes easily to you, the thing you love, the thing you feel drawn to. There's a reason you have it. It's not random. It was placed inside you for a reason. And once you start using it, you'll realize that it's not just about making money or building a career. It's about impact. It's about touching lives, making a difference, leaving something behind that outlives you. Some people think that their gift has to be something big or flashy to be valuable. But that's not true. Every gift has value. Maybe you have a gift for listening to people and making them feel heard. Maybe you have a gift for bringing joy to others. Maybe you have a gift for organizing, for solving problems, for making complicated things simple. Whatever it is, don't underestimate it. The thing that seems small to you might be exactly what somebody else needs. The challenge is that in the beginning, your gift might not seem profitable. It might not bring in money right away. It might not look like a clear path to success. That's where most people give up. They assume that because their gift isn't paying the bills immediately, it must not be worth pursuing. But success doesn't happen overnight. It takes time. It takes effort. It takes faith. You have to be willing to develop your gift, to sharpen it, to put in the work before you see the reward. If you look at anyone who's successful, you'll see that they all had a moment when they had to choose between playing it safe and going all in on their gift. They had to take a leap. They had to believe in themselves before anyone else did. They had to put in hours of work when nobody was watching. They had to keep going even when nothing seemed to be happening. That's the difference between those who succeed and those who don't. The willingness to keep using their gift even when it's not easy, even when the results aren't immediate, even when people don't understand. Most people give up too soon. They start out passionate, excited, full of dreams, but the moment things get tough, they quit. They let doubt creep in. They start listening to the naysayers. They convince themselves that it's not going to work. And that's why so many people live lives of regret, because they quit before they saw the results. But the people who win, they don't quit. They push through the hard days. They stay committed when everyone else gives up. They keep showing up, keep improving, keep believing, and eventually their gift makes room for them. You have to be willing to bet on yourself. Nobody is going to do it for you. Nobody is going to hand you success. Nobody is going to push you if you don't push yourself. If you wait for the perfect moment, you'll be waiting forever. If you wait for other people to believe in you, you'll never start. If you keep making excuses about why you can't, you'll never see what's possible. Your gift is your greatest asset. It is your ticket to freedom. It is the thing that will set you apart. But you have to use it. You have to stop doubting it. You have to stop playing small. You have to stop hiding. There is nothing worse than watching someone with incredible potential never reach it because they were too afraid to try. Think about the people you admire, the ones who inspire you, the athletes, the artists, the entrepreneurs, the leaders. What do they all have in common? They used their gift. They didn't let fear stop them. They didn't let failure stop them. They didn't let other people's opinions stop them. They stepped into what they were meant to do, and that's why they're successful. If they can do it, so can you. The only difference between them and you is that they decided to go all in. They decided to stop waiting. They decided to believe in themselves. Your gift is already inside you. Everything you need to succeed is already there. The only question is, are you willing to use it?